Good morning, everybody. Okay, so reading one today. Yeah, reading one. You already watched the video, and you also already did the activities in your textbook. So please open your textbook for reading and writing and go to reading one. We are now here at page 25. Here we see the picture of someone stealing personal stuff. Like this is like a wallet, so there's a lot of identification that is in there, and this guy uses a glove probably because he doesn't want his fingerprints on the hand on his hands to keep his identity a secret. Yeah, so the consequences of fraud. Last week when we had the talk in listening, we also talked a bit about this already in the week before when we had the overview of the unit. There are many types of fraud, and what kinds are there, and is fraud now more common these days or less common compared to the past? I don't know, but I think the fraud has changed a little bit, maybe from before everything being more into physical form, like stealing things and taking things and then making new identity. Maybe right now, with all the technology that we're having, there is more digital fraud going on, online fraud, and that is as bad, maybe even worse. Yeah. And nonetheless, we definitely have to be very careful. Now, we're going to start off with our vocabulary. The bold-faced words are always the words that we're going to focus on in this unit, or at least already a part of it, since in reading 1 and reading 2, we will talk about vocabulary. Before we go there, I'd like you to flip your pages to the back of your page, just so we have a quick idea. So just to remember, you know, where our vocabulary is at. And that is at page 206 at the back of your book. Remembering that for reading and writing and listening and speaking, we have different vocabulary. So yeah, you do have to use the vocab and the grammar in your unit test and also in your project. So you got to make sure that you use the correct language because they're different ones. So we've got astonishing, con man, con woman, deception, duplicate, fake, fishy, fraud, honesty, impersonate, motive, and suspicious and wary. Yeah, these are the words that we're gonna use for unit 2. And then for grammar, always look at the left column, not the second and the third. Unit 2, we're gonna focus on simple past tense and the past progressive tense. Past progressive is also, you can call it continuous tense. And needing to remind you that the grid of the 16 tenses I have already placed in your ebook. So if you go to your ebook for reading and writing, and you go to the table of contents, and at the beginning there is this general information, I think I called it, or yeah, and there you can see the 16 tenses. Just click it, the hyperlink, and it brings you to the place, and there you see the formula of all 16 tenses. Hopefully that helps you. Okay, now we're going to start with reading 1. Catch Me If You Can, Frank Abagnale story is a true story about a guy, which was later made into a film by and acted out by one of famous players, Leonardo DiCaprio. And yeah, it's astonishing to know that somebody could fake personalities and professions like that. So we've got the bold-faced word fraud, motive, impersonating, deception, con man and woman, suspicious, fake, and honesty. And the first thing that what you were supposed to do was look for the correct synonym for the bold-faced word. So synonyms, we know, are different words but have the same or similar meaning. It is important for us to know a lot of synonyms because in academic writing and speaking, you are never allowed to be repetitive, as in repeating the words over and over again. So you have to have a broad range of vocab. That's why it's so good to learn synonyms, yeah? And also in that way, by using synonyms, you can paraphrase. You're not copy pasting. So we need to know a lot of words. So we're gonna start with fraud. Is there anyone in this class who can help me out with annotating today? Anyone in this class that can help me out to annotate? Anyone who knows how to do that? No? Oh, that's sad. I thought I would have a volunteer. Okay, no worries there. Then I will do it. Okay, we're gonna start with, now the first one is done for you. Fraud is a trick to get money or power. I'm gonna start with we know now. You can do number 2. Remember that when you do not respond, you are absent. Yeah, even though you're in the meeting. Right. We know now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, can you do number 2 for us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 2, a person's motive for doing something is his or her reason. A.
Yeah, it's his or her reason to do something. Awesome, thank you. Aksara? Good morning, Aksara.
Morning, miss.
Hi, can you do the other one? Number 3?
If you impersonate a bank employee, you are pretending to be one.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Ah, so you can annotate. So you can continue, yes? Can you continue doing the annotating for me? Thank you very much. Okay, when deception takes place, people, I'm gonna ask Vanessa.
Yes, miss.
Hi, can you do number 3? Number 4?
Wait, miss. B, miss.
Yeah. When deception takes place, people lie. No, because lying is deception. Yeah. Okay, number 5, I'm going to ask, thank you, yeah. Number 5, I'm gonna ask Bagus. Yeah, what is it, Budi?
I want to answer, miss.
Yeah, okay, you can do number 5.
A con man or woman is someone who is trying to trick you.
Yeah, exactly. That person will try to trick you. Awesome. Thank you, Sean. Cool. Okay, number 6. When you are suspicious of someone, you Bagus, are you here or not? Bagus,
Yes,
Bagus.
miss.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, miss.
Please do number 6.
Number 6. When you are suspicious of someone, you miss. Believe them.
No, you don't believe them when you're suspicious. When you're suspicious, you don't really trust it, you know? Like, oh, something's going on. This is not right. So you don't really believe them. Thank you. Number 7. Sean, can you do that one?
Number 7 is not real.
Good. Fake deal is one that is not real. Thank you. Number 8. Angel Claudia.
Yes, miss.
Can you do number 8?
When people treat you with honesty, they are telling you the truth.
Yeah, they're telling you the truth. Honesty means telling the truth. Okay, cool. Okay, we're gonna erase that. And then, because see, it stays, it's funny. Previewing. You already know that previewing is super duper important because it creates a focus. Now we need that in order to be able to understand a text. If we don't get a good focus, it's so hard to follow a text. So when we preview, we basically look at the title of the text, we look at the headings if there are headings, at the visuals, and then we kind of predict what text type it is and what the purpose is of the text. And that will help us create a focus as in what to read for, and then we can determine how to take notes. Yeah, so here they just ask you to preview and to think about what three types of fraud do you think you will read about. You wouldn't know, it's predicting it, but it does help you focus. It just kind of gives your brain just a little bit of time to get connected to the topic that you are going to read. A lot of us jump into a text and straight away start reading, and a lot we don't register, a lot we don't understand, and then halfway through we go like, what did I read just now? It's just because we weren't focused from the start. So your brain really does need some time. So the previewing is an important part. Now, this is about someone's life. This is it doesn't talk about this man's life, Frank Abagnale, as in when he was born and where he went to school and his childhood and then his teenage years, his adult life, and his accomplishments. So it's not a biography, neither a autobiography, because it wasn't written by him either. But this is describing what he did. So you have descriptive writing that is about people or about things, objects, or places, and we would use spatial order. But if you're describing an event or an experience, yes, a past event or so, then we're using chronological order. So it is written more as in a story form, but it's not a story because it doesn't have a plot and it doesn't have a rising and falling action. But definitely what was described here is what Frank Abagnale did in his life, the different types of roles he played: a doctor, a lawyer, an airline pilot, a college professor, whereas he was lying and deceiving everybody because he was none of them, none of that. And so this describes what he did and what happened. Then he got caught. Yeah. Now we're going to look at the main ideas straight away. So basically, we could say that this is like describing an experience, yeah, or a past event in life. We could call it that way, yeah. So in the main ideas, when we're looking at the main ideas, remember that I explained to you that the general main idea would always be mentioned in the introductory paragraph, especially the thesis statement, and it's reflected through the title. If we're looking at sub-main ideas, the smaller main ideas, then we're looking at headings or subheadings and the topic sentence of each body paragraph, because every body paragraph itself holds its own subtopic, so it has its own main idea. Yeah, so we're looking at the main idea as in overall throughout the whole text. What are the things? So how did your predictions help you understand the story? Probably it gave you an idea of what to really lean into, listen to. Now, put the events of Frank Abagnale's life in chronological order. So definitely there is chronological order because it shows what he did first, and after that, following that, and in the end, what happened. But it is not really a biography where it talks about when he was born and how he was raised and, you know, not that. So it's more a descriptive text about events in his life, but therefore using chronological order. Okay, who can tell me? This is number one. Sean, would you still want to annotate that for us? Maybe I can continue with Samuel Evan. Samuel Evan, good morning. Samuel? Samuel? No Samuel here today? No.
Miss, Samuel mic is broken, miss.
Oh, his mic is broken. Okay, makes sense because I see him here in the classroom. I just don't hear. I thank you so much for letting me know. Yeah, truly appreciate that. Okay, then I'm gonna ask Ben, Caleb. Oh, oh boy. Ben, I don't think I really can hear you. Okay, I'm gonna switch to Budi. Budi, can you tell me what the order is of this?
Miss, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, can you tell me what the order is of this? What's number 2? Oh, what's number 2? So one is he impersonates airline pilot, and then
I don't know, miss.
you don't.
I don't know.
Number 2 is E, not A, but E, because he finally is the last. Yeah, so it's E. So he impersonates airline pilot, then he quits his hospital job. Sean, you can put that in here too. Budi, would you know what 3 is?
3 is second. Wait a minute, miss.
So the first thing he does, he becomes an airline pilot. Then he quits his hospital job. After that, what does he do? After he quits his hospital job?
After B, miss. B, miss.
Actually, it's A. This one.
A.
Yeah. And then he
No.
succeeds in passing his law exam. Yeah, it's okay. Thank you, Budi. I appreciate your help. Ricky, we continue with you. What's number 4, Ricky?
B.
After he passes his exam in law, he decides to teach a college class. F. Ricky, what's number 5?
He starts his own company.
First he moves from France to Sweden. That's 5. And then 6, he starts his own company. Yeah, we gotta work a little bit on chronology here. Yeah, guys. I thank you very much. Okay, so that is basically the right chronological order. Chronological order states for what happens first, after that, following that, and finally what was the last thing that happened. But basically these points you can easily find in the text because it shows throughout the text already how what he does from one to another, you know. So it basically, if you would really read the text, you would see this. Okay, that brings us to the details. Now we're not looking at main ideas, but we're more looking at the details. So we're going to start. We have number 1, Abigail used his uniform to gain free travel. Now, number 2, please read and give the answer. I am going to ask Cristianto.
Second one is E.
Can you read it, please?
He got his hospital job with the help of B.
With the help of?
High-level jobs.
With the help of a neighbor. Okay. Now, with the help of means that there's someone who helped you out. So it is like someone or something that helped you out. So in this case, it's K. He got it with the help of a neighbor. Yeah, thank you. Number 3. Irene, Kania.
He quit impersonating a doctor after dealing with a sick baby. E.
Yeah, a sick baby. Very good. Yeah, I think I think that scared him because he was afraid that the kid would die. So he thought I shouldn't be doing this. But he was not even a doctor. Can you imagine that? He was just impersonating. Impersonating means that you are pretending to be someone you're not. So that's like super illegal and super dangerous, right? Okay, 4, I'm gonna ask Clarence Raphael.
He passed the law exam after several attempts. I.
Yeah, very good. Several attempts. Yeah, it's also a very difficult exam to take. Thank you. 5, I am going to ask Prakoso.
Yes, Miss. Number 5.
Yeah.
He was hired as a college professor because of fake recommendations.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This guy did hard work, yeah, for people to believe him. Okay, Nicholas. Good morning, Nicholas.
Yes, Miss.
Number 6.
Number 6. In the United States and Europe, he made money by cheating banks.
Yeah, exactly. Fake banknotes and everything's fake. What he did. 7, Nathaniel. Robert. Nathaniel. Good morning, Nathaniel.
He was afraid of a criminal.
Yes. No, bad prison. He was afraid of bad prison conditions, not a criminal. He was afraid of bad prison conditions. He didn't want that. He was afraid. He rather would go back to the US to stay in a prison there. Yeah. Okay, 8. Number 8, I am asking Gisela. Gisela. Good morning, Gisela. Okay, 8, continue. I will ask Maria. Katharina. Maria Katharina.
Miss Sylvie, Maria is having difficulties with her mic.
Oh, with her mic. Okay, thank you. That's good you let me know. Okay, then we continue. I will ask Kevin.
Yes, Miss.
Kevin, can you do number 8?
Number 8, when he left prison, he was unable to get high-level jobs.
Yeah, he couldn't get those. B. Yeah. Thank you. 9. Dimas.
Yes, Miss.
Number 9.
9 is A. Today he is employed as bank. Yeah.
No.
And no, wait.
That is banks, so doesn't fit in.
Crime expert, sorry, D.
Yeah, crime expert. Very good. Thank you. Number 10. Jocelyn.
Number 10 is H, a criminal.
Thought about continuing his career as a criminal. Yeah. Number 11 for Karen.
Despite his talents, he is not interested in acting.
Yeah, he would have been a very good actor, I think, because he could fool everybody so well. Any questions, guys? No? Okay, cool. Then we continue. So those were the details. Now we're going to go into something else, which is called making inferences. Now, an inference is an educated guess about something that is not directly stated. It is not literally written down. It is not explicit. That's how we call it. So if it is not explicit, means it's implied, not directly stated. It is something that you have to figure out by analyzing the text. Now, how do you do that? What you do is you combine facts from different paragraphs put together, and looking at that, you can come up with a conclusion, and that conclusion is basically your inference. That is the implied meaning of something. Yeah. So we often can figure out that there are comparisons in the text even though they're not directly stated, not directly that, for example, the writer shows one thing in comparison to another thing. Not always are two things very clearly compared, but sometimes we can still see a comparison. If you look at the different points that are mentioned throughout the text, you combine that, you can see, hey, actually, so we can conclude that this with this with this is compared, results into this. So that would be an indirect a comparison that is made by the writer. Now, a strong reader can infer that, can see that. Now, for example, here we have in paragraph 2, we have facts. We learn, the facts are, we learn that Abagnale worked in a hospital, but he made his own decision to leave the hospital because of an innocent child that might die. So he worked there, but he chose to leave. That's one fact that we got. And another one in paragraph 4, we learn that the FBI was searching for him because he had been casting phony checks. Phony checks is like fake. So we know that. And that didn't really work out. And in paragraph 5, we see that several European countries were waiting to arrest him for check fraud. So his check fraud didn't go well. So after reading the text closely and looking at paragraphs 2, 4, and 5, we can infer or conclude that Abagnale was more successful deceiving people in the medical world than he was at cashing false checks. Knowing that, he wasn't good at that. But he was good at being in the medical world, because it stated clearly that he worked there, but he chose to leave. He was successful there. He wasn't told to leave. Nobody told him to leave, but he himself wanted to leave because he was afraid that a kid would die. So the conclusion from here, the comparison from these three things, we can conclude or infer that he was most successful doing his fraud in the medical world. Sounds all wrong. Okay, we're gonna look at this one. You're gonna try to complete each comparison statement. Refer to the paragraphs in the parentheses to know which one it is. So you gotta go to the paragraphs mentioned in the parentheses. So number 1, who would like to try out number 1? Okay, we have Kaka left. Kaka, can you do number 1?
Sure. Number 1, Frank Abagnale had an easier time impressing A, flight attendants.
Yeah, very good. Can you also do number 2?
Okay. Frank Abagnale was more successful at getting a job as a B, professor.
Yeah, better than the lawyer. What about the last one? Do the whole thing.
Prison conditions were better for Frank Abagnale in B, the United States.
Very good. So basically from these answers, they were not necessarily stated directly like that in the text, but you can figure that out because on how the writer wrote it, you can conclude that these things were what was meant to be understood. Thank you very much, Kaka. Well done. Okay, guys, does anyone have a question about that? You know, like making inferences, seeing the implied meaning versus the explicit meaning. Is that clear? Are you sure? Yeah? Okay, that's awesome. Okay, that brings us then to expressing opinion. Now, for expressing opinion, which is super important, because when you express opinion, you're learning to reason, right? I said that already last time. Reasoning is an important thing to be critical and to be analytical. And you need a critical and analytical mindset when you go to university, and on your career path. You will need it. Okay, so we started now, you know, to grow this analytical way of thinking. And how do you do that? Well, basically, you start thinking about the 5 W's in age. What happened? Why? When? Who? Where? Why? How? You know, you start really thinking about things and looking at how it affects other things. And so expressing your opinion, saying what you think in a way that is accepted for people, which is polite, and also always be accepting of other people's opinion, yeah? Open for other people to say what they think. Make sure that when you express your opinion, that as you say what you think, that you also develop it with reasons for why you have that way of thinking. Yeah, so you have to give reasons. And besides the reasons that you give, you have to give evidence for what you're saying. So if I would put it here, remember that I mentioned Peel. So this is basically your point, or we could call this your opinion, let's say, or perspective, in a nicer word. And then we've got the E, which is basically the E is basically the explanation, what we call for, and those will, in this case, be reasons for your opinion. And you've got another E, which is examples, or wait, which is probably evidence. Mostly we refer to as evidence from the text, evidence from what you heard, or evidence as in examples that you give by strengthening your opinion. Yeah. And then last but not least is the L, super important, which is link, where you link back to point, and where you basically close your statement. Yeah, so Peel is definitely very important for you guys. So please remember that, because it stands for stating, giving a point, explaining the point, giving evidence, and linking it back to the beginning. And with that, you round it up. But if you're giving your opinion, so P is giving your opinion, E would be giving reasons for that opinion, E would be giving examples to that opinion, or even evidence if you have, and then link it back to the start of your opinion, what your opinion was or is, and to round up what you're saying. And this is a very good structured way of expressing yourself, and you can use that in speaking, but you can also use that in writing. Yeah, in any application, this is important. Okay, so we're gonna go with the first one. Which of Abigail's impersonations do you think was the most dangerous, and why? Is there anyone who would love to respond to this? Any volunteer? Okay, then I'm going to ask. Okay, Dimas, yes.
I would like to choose number 2.
Okay.
It was more important to Abigail, money or respect. In my point of view, that after I read the whole text, then I realized that the point of his life is about respect, not about money. Because if we see, if he thought the money is more important than respect, so I think it's more valuable if he is still in fake, make a fake check for the bank, because that can earn more money than in hospital or in a pilot or in the university. But he always changed. He had been changed 3 times of his jobs, not because of the money, because he is hungry and thirsty of respect.
Yeah.
He felt like something that he has to get is a respect, because if we get respect, so the money will go on too. It seems like if you get a respect from someone, then someone will give what you need. So from that, he can use that respect for earn something or anything that he wants.
Yeah, very good. Okay, Dimas, I could hear that you used all 4 parts. Yeah, you stated your opinion, you give an explanation, you give reasons, you give evidence by mentioning the different jobs that he took, and then you ended it. Very good. Well done. Yeah, and definitely, if you were to take any job, why didn't he take a low-paying job? But I mean, like a low-level job, but he went for professor, for doctor, for, you know, high-ranking job. So definitely agree with you on the respect part, though. Yeah, awesome, very good. It's a good example on how you did it for everybody else. Anyone else who would like to respond? Maybe number 1, 2, or 3. Ricky, I would like to hear you. You can pick. You want to do number 1 or 3? Ricky?
Yes.
Hi, good morning. I would like you to respond. Which one would you like to respond to?
I'm gonna respond to the first one.
Okay.
Which of Abigail's impersonation do you think was the most dangerous? I think it's the doctor part because it's very dangerous because he have people's lives that depend on him doing his jobs.
Hmm.
So if he messed up, at some point people will die. So I think that if he impersonate a doctor, doesn't have a doctor degree,
Yeah.
many people will, become sick, died, became worse. That's why I think it's the
Yeah.
most dangerous
Yeah,
job.
very good. Okay, well expressed with your peel going there. Awesome. Thank you very much, Ricky. I would like to
Welcome.
hear Kevin. Kevin, could you give your opinion about number 3?
Number 3. I don't know, miss.
No? Okay, that's honest. Thank
No,
you.
sorry.
No worries there. Thank you. That's very honest. Okay, what about Vanessa? 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 No, Vanessa? Okay, if it comes to whether he was punished fairly for his fraud or not, that will vary. Maybe some of you say yes, he was because he was in a prison and he paid for it. But other people might say who've been victims to what he has done, maybe they feel that wasn't enough. It's a very personal thing. But again, he did go to prison, right? So he paid for his debt, and now, as we know, that he is like a crime consultant or so. I mean, like he now kind of is using it in a good way to help out, but definitely wrong what he did. Okay, that's it for today. Let me quickly share our schedule with you just to remind you. Remember, your schedule is also in Moodle. Everything is in Moodle. The announcements for your work submission, when the unit test is, instructions, all is in it already. A rubric for your speaking test is in it. Everything is there. And I'd like to notify to you guys that starting from now, I will also share the spreadsheet on Moodle, so you can keep track of your own work, what you have already done and what you have not done yet. So if, for example, you haven't done your homework yet, you can see that your name is yellow, and that would mean that you still have to do it. Okay? Now, for this week, as we're looking at the 5th of October, as we did our Zoom meeting about reading one, this week for your project, you should focus on researching for your journal, for your paragraph. So you did the brainstorm already, use the brainstorm in order to do your research, work on that. For your post study for today's meeting and today's material, you will have a post study and you will do the activities of reading one in your ebook for reading and writing. That's the post study, which will give you more practice for today's material. For the pre-study, which is your self-prep, individual independent study for next week's Zoom meeting, your pre-study, please watch the video that I've already sent to you this morning. It's in YouTube and I sent you the link this morning already. Do listening one, watch it, and do the activities in listening one in your textbook for listening and speaking, so you're well prepared for next week. Okay, this way you have a pre-study, you have a study review, and you have a pre-study. So 3 times of studying the material, you should be very, very good at it. Okay, any questions? If not so, then have a great day, have a great week, and God bless you, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.